I call the member for Fraser.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. A little over 12 months ago, Paul Keating told Lee Sales during a Lateline interview, "It's all about telling the stories. You've got to be able to tell the stories." And today I want to pay tribute to one of our greatest ever storytellers. Australian author Bryce Courtenay had lived in the suburb of Reid in my electorate in a few kilometres from my electorate office. And last week he died of stomach cancer, aged 79. He was a prolific author. In his 23 years of writing, he wrote 23 books, almost one a year. And I say almost because the only time he missed his annual deadline was last year. He was upset by this, even though the arthritis in his hands was so severe he could only perform two-finger typing. Deputy Speaker, as somebody who's got a couple of books with my name on the spine of them, I can only marvel at a man almost 40 years my senior who worked 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, for months on end to tell us his stories. I remember once reading a book about fiction writing which said that if you want to be a good fiction writer, you have to be at the desk every day, because some days the muse will come and it'll sit on your shoulder and you'll write beautiful prose. And other days the muse won't come and nothing will come out. But you have to be there, otherwise the muse will turn up and you'll be off somewhere else. And Bryce Courtenay was there, day in, day out, waiting for the muse to land on his shoulder and produce those wonderful stories. And great storytellers like Bryce Courtenay can inspire us. They fill us with vision. They sometimes even tell us things we don't want to hear. Bryce Courtenay's power to tell a compelling story saw him sell more than 20 million books worldwide. Nearly a book for every Australian. He wrote 12 of the most borrowed books in Australia's public libraries. It's estimated that 1 in 3 Australian households have a Bryce Courtenay book on their bookshelves. So, Deputy Speaker, what was it about Bryce Courtenay, the man, and the writing that so enthralled us? I believe it was his ability to tell stories about the strength and triumph of the human condition. His own life was testimony to that. It's hard to read The Power of One or April Fool's Day without being touched by how he spoke to us on this eternal theme. In The Power of One, he wrote, "The power of one is above all things the power to believe in yourself, often well beyond any latent ability you may have previously demonstrated." They're powerful words from a storyteller who could reach out and grab the heart of the reader. Bryce Courtenay, like all of us, was very much human. A man with his own imperfections. And he showed us through his life and his writing that we shouldn't hide from them. The imperfections and hardships of life are what makes a story worth celebrating. Deputy Speaker, 2 weeks ago, Bryce Courtenay posted a final message on YouTube to his readers. Here's part of what he said. "Well, kids, here we go. The book coming out this year, The Jack of Diamonds, is my last book. It's my last book because my use-by date has finally come up, and I've probably only got a few months to live. I don't mind that. I've had a wonderful life. But part of that wonderful life has been those people who've been kind enough to pick up a Bryce Courtenay book and read it, and enjoy it and buy the next one, and be with me in what has been, for me, an incredible journey." He briefly pauses and continues. "All I would like to say is, as simply as I possibly can, with his voice now starting to break, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I would like to say here to Bryce Courtenay, it is we who should thank you. Vale Bryce Courtenay."